What's going on, my friends? Lauren Sisler here with ESPN, hanging out with Mike McCoy with Maximum Performance, former receiver at Alabama, doing his thing. And we're going to talk a little football as we head into week 8 of the college football season. I know it's not going to be the most beautiful, most amazing conversation that we're going to have about the Alabama Crimson Tide because they did take the L this week, but there's still some great stuff to talk about. We're going to look ahead to Mississippi State. So let's roll with another episode of Head to Head.
Let's go now. Oh, now. Oh, let's go now. Oh, can't stop us. Oh, let's go now. Oh, now.
15 years, my friend. That 15-year streak is now over. And before I let you roll, because I can tell you got some flames coming out of those ears this morning. So before I let you roll, do you remember the prediction last week?
Yeah, you called it.
3 points, my friend.
Yeah.
I had 38-35 last week. You know I don't bring this up unless I win.
Yeah.
So I won.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that I thought Alabama was going to come in there and just obviously get annihilated. I knew it was going to be a close game. I really didn't know what was going to happen with Bryce Young. And I think that was a key piece that I was a little nervous about. Does he play? If he plays, is he healthy? Can he get through it? What does that look like? Just overall, from my vantage point, you obviously have a quarterback that changes the entire dynamic of that football team. And I will say, at the beginning of that game, when Tennessee kept putting up points, I was like, holy moly, Alabama is in for a long day. Woo! But then they did what Alabama does. Yeah. So I think there are some bright spots, there are some takeaways, but my gosh, Tennessee went to town.
Yeah, they did. They did.
So I'm just gonna open the floor for you. I'm gonna open the floor for you because apparently you got beef because, Alabama Cattlemen's Association, they got beef.
Always.
Our cool sponsor, we love y'all. So what's your beef? What's your beef with Alabama this past week that you feel led them into that column?
Well, if you guys pay attention, I'm still not a fan of the offensive play calling. I think some adjustments could have been made, but I think Bryce showed us he is that guy.
He is that guy.
You number one. I just hope you don't go to a sorry team. So NFL teams, please don't throw your season for Bryce. Secondly, the defense takes on the identity of its linebackers. Not going to call anybody names out, but the guys I played with were Dante Hightower, Rolando McClain. After that, you got guys C.J. Mosley. Then you have Reuben Foster. You had some real certified steppers on that defense. And if you were out of line, you didn't question your linebacker. And also, they take on the identity of their coordinator. Why did we not make any adjustments? Think about the stat line I'm about to give y'all. 6 catches, 5 touchdowns. Come on, man. God, come, be serious. 6 catches, 5 touchdowns. That sounds like a high school guy playing against a peewee team. How do you not bracket this guy? Or even
and we're talking about Jalen Hyatt, right?
Man, come on, man. This boy put on the show. Hey, man, by the way, you don't have to play another game. All you got to do is tell NFL scouts, this is what I did to Alabama, and put toast next to it. Burnt toast.
Yeah, that guy. Burnt toast.
Burnt toast. The only guy I felt that played up to par is Kool-Aid. You played phenomenal, man. You held it down. You made me a believer. I'm a fan. But keep that up. I need the same energy. And they should have, if he's as good as advertised, that should be your key guy. You follow the best receiver out there. Let him play man across the board because obviously some of these boys can't cover an ant bed with a blanket. So.
Dude, this guy. All right, so with that being said, let's look at this week. Alabama, Mississippi State, we're back in Bryant-Denny Stadium. I mean, look, I think that Tennessee game was physical. It was a physical game, and it could go one of two ways. Now, Nick Saban said, point blank, look, we still got everything ahead of us.
Yes.
Alabama falls to 6th in the country. Tennessee flip-flops with them. They're now 3rd. Bottom line is Alabama wins out. They could still go to the SEC championship, which Tennessee still has to play Georgia. Mm-hmm. So winner of that game really becomes SEC. So Alabama could have a rematch, or it could be Georgia, right? We'll see how things shake out there. Alabama wins that game, and then I think Alabama is in good shape for the college football playoffs. So no need to panic yet. But Nick Saban said, we got to do the right things. We got to do things right. Execution, clean things up. Penalties. Holy cow, 17 penalties for Alabama. I mean, I literally thought in that first quarter alone, I'm just sitting here watching this is a nightmare. Like, it's almost like, wake up. Wake up, Alabama. Wake up.
Well,
nightmare. We're having a nightmare.
Well, and again, that comes down to defense. You do not allow the referees to dictate the game. Now, were there some bad calls on the refs' part? Of course.
And you could argue that kind of was on both sides.
On both, Bryce got beat like I ain't gonna say stepchild. Bryce got whooped. Let's just say that. I don't think we did a good job of officiating. A couple of those head-to-heads. Come on, man. Y'all was blatantly doing that. But, you protect who you want to protect. You at home. Hope y'all got a good payday. But in all seriousness, I think it was a lot of undisciplined calls. I know Coach Saban is going to address it. I feel sorry for the guys in the meetings yesterday. I can tell you ain't seen Saban jump up and down back-to-back like that in years. So, y'all, I hope y'all got y'all stuff together because he about to be about that action. And we do hold and control our future, and I think Bama's still going to pull it on out.
Yeah, so against Mississippi State, this is a team that, yes, they did take a 10-point loss to Kentucky in Lexington this week, but Mississippi State has come on strong. They've got some dudes. They've got some players. They have a quarterback that has continued to prove himself in Will Rogers. And so, again, I think defensively, Alabama's got to clean things up. Execution, the penalties, got to go, right?
Yes.
Get rid of the penalties. Here's one stat that I want to point out to you that I think is interesting, is that Mississippi State has really performed well this season. I will say against Kentucky, they fell short pretty much in every area. They did not have a complete football game. And that's a team that when playing well, when playing on all cylinders, can be dominant. Rogers has averaged 4 touchdowns every single game. So they've been able to move the football. Wow. They just had 1 touchdown this past week. And oh, by the way, the offense as a whole rushed just 10 times for 22 yards. Okay. So Kentucky did something right. And I think Alabama can expose that. If they can get them off balance, I think that's going to be a key piece. Alabama's just got to get back to Alabama. Alabama football, especially on the defensive side of the football, they're going to need that, especially when you've got a guy like Will Rogers playing and then Jaquavius Marks, another stud player. So that's just kind of what I'm looking at from the offensive side, getting back to that football, that identity football. Defensively, they got some dudes. Yes. Mississippi State's got some dudes. And I think Bryce Young, as you said, is such a key piece to this offense.
Yes.
And this offense looks entirely different. But what can Alabama do differently? What do they need to do differently to kind of guard against what we saw against Tennessee this past weekend?
I think up front, I think the O-line has to protect better. Let Bryce be Bryce. Don't even give him no calls. This man got it. That's MVP. Again, this is Steph Curry we're talking about. That's Bryce for me. So he has that type of effect. He's going to, with him on the field, they feel like they can win any game. Defense side of the ball, we just got to play ball, man. I need 2 church boys and 3 gangsters. It's going to balance it out, guys. We just got to get these boys that are hungry. Again, I always go back to social media. Just picked up my phone not too long ago, and you got guys that just played, y'all just lost, and you're posting about adversity. Get off social media, lock in. Stay away from this rat poison. You shouldn't even be watching this video. Your coordinator should be watching it. Your head coach should be watching it, but stay off of it, lock in. Say, even call some of your older players back up there, man, to show these boys the tradition, what it means to play at Alabama. The old school way, when you first got there, when you made us run them 36 110s, in July. That type of verse where you ain't, we got to watch for their steps and their heart and all that. Man, look, this is a man sport. This is a gladiator sport. This is what you signed up for. So play ball like men. All this 2-hand touch got to get out the window. And I hope they're zooming in on this. And you got to call old guys like Marquise Mays, Rolando, Trent Richardson, DJ Hall. Like, you got to bring some old guys back. Marcus Constance. Bring people that love Alabama. There's too many guys. I think we got too many pieces out in trying to beat Alabama. When you got that L on your chest, that meant something. That's not the Bama way. I don't know. We are the standard, but I think we're in the glitz and glam. I think people are too worried about what it looks like than what it actually is. The main thing is the main thing, and the main thing is to win, and that is your job.
Keep the main thing, the main thing.
That's
so
it.
we're going to keep the main thing here, the main thing, which is prediction time. Man, you just spit some fire out, man. You are on fire, and I am loving every ounce of it. Okay, so if Alabama bounces back as we anticipate, I anticipate Alabama bouncing back. I anticipate, again, I know that game against Tennessee might have been a drag, tiring, physical, fought it out, went into overtime, all those things. But Alabama, they get back to Bryant-Denny Stadium. They figure it out this week. I'm going to say Alabama wins 42-27. I think they're going to give up some points. I think some points will be scored.
Yeah, that gets their secondary.
42-27.
I'm not going to be too far off. I'm going to go 48-17.
All right. Brought to you by Alabama Beef Farmers and Ranchers.